You know what? I've had enough wrapping presents for a bit. I'm just going to stop halfway through. I'll save that for a little bit later because I'm just in that mood to talk about Sebastian Vettel. His 2019 probably hasn't gone to plan, is a fair way of saying it. Look, the German, last year, 4-time world champion, the fight for five was the big headline going into 2018. And as the year unfolded, Ferrari had a good car, and at parts of the season had the best car, I think is fair enough to say. But as time went on, the season wound down. It wasn't coming together for Ferrari, but it seemed in winter testing in 2019 that Ferrari may have just done something very, very special. Very quickly in Melbourne, we all realised how stupid we were for not believing that Mercedes were going to be the team to beat, and Ferrari initially were on the back foot, really struggling. In both cars, team orders were a real issue. Pace on Saturday and Sunday was a real issue, and it wasn't really until after the summer break where the team really hit their stride, multiple pole positions and front row lookouts in a row, but also started winning races. But actually, there were times in the first half of the season where both Sebastian Vettel and Ferrari could have won Grand Prix. Bahrain, where Charles Leclerc's car broke down. We also had Germany. We've got to talk about Germany in this video. We had Austria, where Ferrari were looking good. Baku, Ferrari were looking okay early on in the weekend. But it was after the summer break where we had straight away Monza, Spa, Singapore, 3 in a row. It was looking so rosy. But Sebastian Vettel's side of the garage wasn't so much. It was a very up and down 2019 season for Seb. And whereas some drivers had a brilliant first half and an awful end, for Sebastian, it was just a little bit all over the place. Looking at the head-to-head statistics, it's not a dreadful year, but considering he's a 4-time world champion and his teammate Charles Leclerc is only in his second year of Formula 1, first year with Ferrari, I think Seb probably would have liked to have had a little bit more control over the overall results. 9-12 in Leclerc's favour in quali, but in the race it's 11-9. 24 points separated them. Only one position in the championship, but that's almost an entire Grand Prix weekend worth of points that Leclerc has over Sebastian Vettel, and Leclerc has more retirements in the season, which is just something interesting of note. Sebastian's statistics don't look great in 2019. Just that one victory in Singapore, 2 pole positions, 1 in Canada, which I will talk about in a moment. Also another one in Japan, that very all over the place weekend thanks to the typhoon. 9 podiums, that surprised me a little bit. 240 points, championship position P5. So, the car was inconsistent. The team was inconsistent. We've got that out there. But Sebastian himself, his own performances, inconsistent as well. It really was. At the start of the year, Melbourne had a bit of a kerfuffle in terms of team orders with his teammate, a trend that would continue throughout 2019. Bahrain, front row, early on in the race, was leading. And Leclerc, on that occasion, chose to deny team orders, overtook Sebastian. And in the race, Sebastian, if you cast your minds back all the way to, was it April, March, that kind of time, had a little spin, did Sebastian Vettel. A big spin fighting with Lewis Hamilton. Also, managed to lose his front wing in that Grand Prix as well. And a weekend where, realistically, it should have been Vettel capitalising from Leclerc's mistake. The number 5 car should have won that race. Canada, pole position. You're finally thinking, yes, here we go. Ferrari are going to have a bit of speed. And actually, on the whole, that was probably one of Sebastian's best weekends of the entire season. Not only that pole position at a circuit where Lewis Hamilton is usually so good, but also controlled almost every single lap of the race. And it was only that one little mistake cutting the grass, which still to this day I think was a bit of an unfair penalty. Anyway, don't want to start that debate too much today, but that one little mistake cost him a victory. Then you've got to go a few more races on where he probably did have the best race of the entire season for him in Germany with all the chaos going on. Sebastian starting right at the back of the grid, fought all the way up to P2, and considering what had happened 12 months prior, where he was leading and went off in the stadium section, what a turnaround. And you're thinking, here you go, I wonder if he can build up a bit of momentum now and really start putting in some flashy results. Hungary was hungry. That was not a good race for Ferrari whatsoever. Sebastian did beat Charles on that particular weekend, but it wasn't great. And then straight away, back from the summer break, Leclerc wins in Belgium, the first Ferrari win of the season. Monza, Leclerc does it again, but there is a bit of controversy in qualifying. That craziness in Q3 that arguably Sebastian did get a little bit screwed over in that situation, but hey, all of the drivers got screwed over in that situation. They all made their own bad luck on that particular day. But in the race, Sebastian wasn't really anywhere, struggling and falling back through the order, and he did the spinaroo again. He did the spinaroo again, through Ascari, came back onto the circuit, just hit Lance Stroll. Ridiculous. Stroll also was awful in that situation. But from a four-time world champion, someone who's been in Formula 1 full-time since 2008, it wasn't good to see. It really wasn't. And then with Leclerc going on and winning that weekend, my God, you're thinking, wow, Sebastian, this isn't looking good, mate. The following weekend, Singapore, he only goes and wins it, and yet another controversial one, another one where Ferrari were just tripping over each other with strategy and who's the number one driver. Did they let him race? It was just a mess, but Sebastian did win that weekend, and for me, that was quite a special moment. It was quite emotional. All that he'd been through, finally, that victory meant so much, and you could see it. And for a man who has, I believe, has the third most victories ever in Formula 1, you could tell that really meant something, and it's always special when those kind of events happen. Russia, a few rounds later, another chance for Sebastian Vettel to win. More controversy with team orders early on in the race, with Vettel taking the lead after getting a slipstream from Charles. All over the shop, whether they wanted to let him back through, arguing on the team radio, it was all a big mess. Ultimately, Sebastian Vettel's car broke down, didn't even get any points, didn't get to the flag. A few, perhaps under the radar performances afterwards, a couple of second places late on in the season, but still just that one victory. Still lots of mistakes, quite inconsistent, and I find myself a little bit frustrated with Sebastian Vettel's season. Whether it's because Leclerc's come in, whether it's because the car's not to his liking, I don't know. But I feel the best I can give Sebastian Vettel this year is a 7, and part of me wants to give him a 6. You know what? I am going to give him a 6. I really think he's got to improve next year, and with Leclerc signing a new deal today, 5 years, I think that tells you more about Sebastian than it does Charles. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. This is going to be a hotly debated one, so I will join you down there. Just 2 more days to Christmas, ladies and gents. I hope you're having a fantastic holidays. Subscribe if you're new, and I hope to see you in the next one.